All right. Okay. I'm so excited to see so many new people. How many are here for the first time? Yeah. Good title for the meeting. It really got you here. Yay. Okay. You got one? All right. Okay, so this is Jeff. He's our treasurer. My hearing aid went out. He found one in the car. So. You only have one?
Yeah, that's all I have left.
Oh, I owe you big time.
No.
Can you get it out of there for me?
This is 2-3 years old.
I just need one.
I don't use it anymore.
I'm sorry for the delay, but have you ever been out and you had a hearing aid battery go out? I always have lots of batteries. But today, for some reason or another, the one that I need for my White X hearing aid it's out. It just stopped. So, I'd like to introduce myself, especially for the new people that are here. My name is Toni Barrient. I'm a late deafened and bimodal with a hearing aid and a cochlear implant. I'm the HLAA Orange County Chapter president. We are a chapter of the Hearing Loss Association of America. I'm also the HLAA Southern California State Chapter Coordinator. So any other chapters that are meeting in Southern California, I sort of guide them, help them along. And so we have chapters in San Diego, Long Beach, Los Angeles. We have a new one starting in Redlands, and we have one starting in the Claremont area. So I work with these people to help them get their chapters started. Okay, all right, yay. I, at one time in my life, I worked at the Hearing Loss Association of America in the Washington, D.C. area. I worked there for 9 years. And I've been serving the deaf and hard of hearing community for nearly 30 years. My role here is to provide resources to individuals with hearing loss, their spouses, caregivers, family members, and friends, based on their individual needs. We don't sell anything here, and so I'm not selling you anything. I'm just here to coach and help you identify what resources, what options might work for you. And I have some devices and things we could test out, but more about that later. Why we exist as a chapter. It's about quality of life. When you don't attend church, meetings, social gatherings because of your hearing loss, you are diminishing the quality of your life. Hearing loss, when it goes untreated or it isn't optimized, can lead to depression, loneliness, and even a cognitive decline. So chapter meetings are important because by talking about hearing loss together, we are creating awareness not only for ourselves, but for those people around us. And we reduce the stigma that can begin, and we can begin to step out more with confidence. You know, hearing loss is not a crime. Just so I let you know, it's not a crime. Okay. We have options that we can learn about in meetings that you won't get anywhere else. There is no one solution for everybody. Options need to be customized. And we can do that at meetings. This is critical to staying connected to life and is essential to the quality of our lives. You can't learn everything in one meeting. So please join us monthly and get back into life, and remember, you're not alone with your hearing loss. You're not alone. I have a student of audiology who's located in the Santa Barbara area, and because I am the coordinator for Southern California, she contacted me that there was a senior woman living in Ojai, and she was extremely isolated. She has nobody to talk to about hearing loss, and she was desperate to know if there could be a hearing loss support group in her area. There used to be one, but when the pandemic started, they shut down, and so there is none. But now, with this student of audiology, we're going to try to start up a little meeting, and because it's not the first time somebody from Santa Barbara has contacted me about needing or wanting support group meetings. Okay. Raffle tickets. Has everybody got a raffle ticket? Because we're going to have a raffle at the end of the meeting. And so, Bob, did you bring the tickets? Okay. Alrighty. We are in a situation where we are needing donations. And so I'm going to pass the basket. And Daniel, I do a lot of printing, and I printed here in Laguna Woods. And my printing this week or this month was $98. I just recently paid the rent for this room for 2026, and the rent is over $500. So we are a 100% volunteer organization. We have no income. We have no. We are self-supported. This club is supported through the members that come. So we are going to pass the basket, and please, if you could extend something, we appreciate that. Also, we're getting to the end of the year. It's going to be tax season before you know it. And what I would like you to know is that we are a 501c3 charity. So if you give anything besides a couple of dollars and want it to be tax deductible, we can make that arrangement. Jeff can give you a receipt, and you can send a check. You can go to our website and donate online and get a receipt that way as well. Today I want to thank Mary Sheets, who is for bringing the cookies today. We have cookies, and we have Jeff got one. Okay, now I've got lots of batteries. I'm so blessed. Thank you, Anne. I'd like to thank Mary Sheets for the cookies, yes, and Bob Rennie, board member. You saw him coming in at the sign-in desk. Marla Peoples, you saw her at the sign-in desk. She is vice president. Both Bob and Marla have been involved with hearing loss support for years. I've known Marla at least 10 years. I've known Bob probably closer to 25, 30 years. So they are people that you can talk to, you can ask questions, and they've listened to every presentation, so they just may very well have an answer for you. Alan, our technical person, and our cameraman. Thank you, Alan, for being here. Jeff Chess, our chapter president, and also, in the case of an emergency, he might be able to provide you with a hearing aid battery. Okay. Daniel Boone, Jr., that's his real name. He's my right-hand man. He's available for everything. Anne Mundell-Noel, audiologist from Amazing Hearing. She's in the room in the back. She is our audiology advisor, and she's on the record. She's been audiology advisor since 2015. I've been holding meetings in Laguna Woods since 2011. So, All right. So that's that. Now we'll go on to our presentation. And there we go. Oh. Remember, the captions are over there if you need it. Some of you have it on your smartphones. And is there anybody that would like to try a listening device? We have a hearing loop. Would you like to try a listening device? Okay, Daniel will bring one for you. We have 4 more left. This is a receiver and a headset. You would like one too? Okay, so we've got another one. So last month, October, we had a phenomenal presentation from Juliet Sturkins on video. She did a TED Talk. And her TED Talk was what you don't know about hearing aids. And I'm just going to quickly review a couple of takeaways from that presentation, and then we're going to follow forward. So, hearing aids, cochlear implants, are not like eyeglasses. Eyeglasses can usually correct vision to 20/20. Hearing aids and cochlear implants will never give you normal hearing. You'll never go back to normal hearing. That's very sad. A lot of people get very depressed over that. But hearing aids can be extremely helpful. Okay. We learned that hearing aids and cochlear implants work best when the wearer is close to the sound source, which is about 6 feet in the best of circumstances. So beyond that, the sound begins to degrade. Let me just show you what that looks like. Okay. So the quality of sound depends on the sound in. So a lot of the meeting rooms here in Laguna Woods have a reverberation, and that reverberation interferes with the clarity. You hear what's being said, but you're not clear. It's not clear, and you could misinterpret a word or two. So on this diagram, the first one here is an iPhone recording in a restaurant at 2 feet from the speaker's mouth. But you got to remember that it's a lot of background noise. So that's not really great. I don't know, can you see me? Yes. Okay. The one in the middle is an iPhone recording that's 2 inches from the sound. Now that's a lot better reception there. You can see it's, and then over here is 2 feet from the speaker's mouth. So sound degrades the farther away it is. So this is why a lot of time when you're sitting in a restaurant, you may lean into somebody because you're getting closer to the sound and it sounds better. There's nothing that, well-fed hearing aids are a maximum plus, and really a plus. But there's going to be times when it doesn't quite hit the mark. Okay. I wish I could see that better. All right. Okay, so this is why you can hear, but not necessarily with clarity. Your mileage may vary. So now we're going to talk about assistive listening systems. And the first thing we're going to talk about is public places, with and without a telecoil. Okay. So, just taking a sidestep, the American Disabilities Act of 1990 declares that hearing loss is a disability. It's every much a disability as somebody that requires a wheelchair or a walker. It's not a crime.
Toni, you're on mute.
I'm on mute. Okay, sorry. I tapped it, sorry. So this is, that person that just shouted out at me, that's Jo Gale, and she is a captioner, and she is captioning. She lives in Chicago, Illinois. And so we're connected to the wonders of the internet. And the technical gods were good to me today, because last month we had a terrible problem. Okay, so in public venues, whenever a PA system is used, it's required by law to provide communication access with an assistive listening system. So we're talking about a public venue. We're talking about courthouses. We're talking about meeting rooms. We're talking about schools. We're talking about, what we're not talking about is we're not talking about residential communities. We're not talking about nonprofits offering assistive devices. But we are talking about movie houses, theaters. Laguna Theater has FM systems. Sudgerstrom has infrared systems. South Coast it's a playhouse. They have an FM system. So Pasadena Playhouse has a hearing loop. So let's talk about some examples of assistive listening systems. First of all, you have a hearing loop. So here we have a hearing loop in this room. And what does that mean? So hearing aids, let's talk about what a hearing loop is. So in this picture, you see there could be a hearing loop in the ceiling, and it's literally a wire that's properly installed, and it could be in the ceiling or it could be in the flooring. In this situation, it's all around the floor in this room. This induction loop, we call it hearing loops because it's user-friendly. Induction loop doesn't talk about what it does. I call it hearing loop, and that's what we've been calling it. So the hearing loop is directly connected to a box in the back that this microphone is connected to. It's connected to the audio system. So when I'm talking in this microphone, and you have a telecoil, and I'm going to explain what a telecoil is. If you have a telecoil, that is going to broadcast directly to your hearing aids, wirelessly. You don't need any equipment, you don't need anything. Now we have quite a few people here who are wearing assistive listening system, a receiver, and a headphone. And these people are listening to me through the hearing loop. And it's the sound, there's no sound degrading. It's more directly right directly into your ears. It's a smoother sound. You don't hear background noise. And so wherever you go, when you're in public, you should ask for an assistive listening system. Okay. So the telecoil is a simple and powerful hearing aid feature. It was born around 1950 and allowed hearing aids to pick up sound directly from telephones. That's the old GTE, AT&T, Ma Bell, where they used to have the right kind of conduction in the receiver, and it would just draw the sound directly into the hearing aid. You just hold it up to the microphone in your hearing aid. But now we have digital phones, so we don't have that anymore. but it reduces the background noise and the feedback. So by the 70s, users started using the telecoil for hearing loop systems. I remember going to meetings with Bob Rennie and back in the 2000s, and every time we came, we would lay down a loop. Somebody would lay down a loop, and they'd have to tape it on the floor. And so it would be a lot of work. But we had a hearing loop, yes, we loved it. And so even today, the telecoil remains reliable, universal tool for clearer listening. It's just very clear. So let's go to our next slide. Oh. So I'm hoping you can see this. So this is the picture of a hearing aid, sort of the anatomy of a hearing aid. So this is the receiver up here. Down here in a little compartment is a telecoil. It's actually a little coil. It's inside the hearing aid. And there's a microphone that's on the top of your hearing aid. And then there's a processor and an amplifier inside there. And of course, you've got your battery compartment. So a telecoil is inside your hearing aid. You must purchase it when you get your hearing aid. So when you, because you can't add it afterwards. It's not something to add on. But you're not out of luck. You could still use hearing loops, and I'll explain. Okay. So for today, we've got induction loops. There's something called an FM system, and there's infrared system. So I was talking about the Laguna Playhouse. They have an FM system. So with that place, you would request, and let's see, this piece that everybody should have. It says here, a push for hearing devices that are ADA ready. And on the back, it compares hearing loop, FM systems, infrared, and Auracast and Wi-Fi systems. So if you go down to the Laguna Playhouse, you would borrow their receiver. You check it out. You go to customer service. Sometimes they'll do it at the ticket booth. And you borrow a receiver, and you get a headset. If you don't have hearing aids, bring your own earbuds and just plug it into the box. It's just a regular port. You can plug in earbuds, bring your own headset if you want, but it's important that you borrow this receiver. And you'll be able to hear very well. Infrared is pretty much, it's a different technology, but again, they have receivers for infrared. Sedgerston Theater, the last I recall, they have an infrared system. So you need to borrow their receivers. They actually have a place on the floor in the lobby where you can check it out. Auracast is a brand new technology. It's not really ready for prime time yet. You need to have Auracast hearing aids, or if you have a telecoil, you can borrow a receiver and hear Auracast over in the room with a receiver. The same thing with Wi-Fi systems, which are not very popular. Both Auracast and Wi-Fi systems, they're brand new, and they're not in very many places. And there's a lag. It's a lag, so it doesn't keep up with the mouth. So it's a little delayed, and it's just a little tiny delay. But they've got to fix that. So they're working on it. So it's anticipated we're probably 8 to 10 years out before hearing aids will be adopted for Auracast, and Auracast will be fine-tuned. That makes it as desirable as currently a hearing loop is. Okay, so next, so you want to look for this sign that indicates the T. Here in Laguna Woods, we have I don't think you got that in your packet. We have about 10 or 12 hearing loops right here in Laguna Woods. Every clubhouse, except for Clubhouse 4, has a hearing loop. So Clubhouse 1 in the main ballroom, Clubhouse 2 in the main ballroom, the PC workshop, so not the workshop, the learning center, if you're taking classes in the PC club, the computer club, they have a hearing loop, so you can hear a lot better. Clubhouse 5 and 6, and then this room has a hearing loop. And on the back of this flyer are listed all the churches and synagogues and other places in Orange County that have hearing loops. So if you're enjoying hearing, for those of you that have a receiver, if you're enjoying the clarity in the sound, there's lots of places you can go and enjoy that. Okay, we have a question over here. And what I'm going to do is, Mary, you want to give him the microphone so that people, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you. I was just wondering, how does one know, or does one have to ask specifically to find out whether one's hearing aids are compatible for that?
Yes. Good question. And I also have a information about that. Let's see, eeny, miny, mo. Oh, everybody should have gotten one. Marla, did everybody get a little card? Okay, you got a card. And that's an Ask Your Audiologist card, or Ask Your Hearing aid provider. About 80%. Please talk on the microphone.
They didn't get it. I don't know where they are.
Oh, okay. So here's a card. This will help you with the discussion you're going to have with your provider, because you got to kind of know what to say. So this kind of helps you with that. Do you need one?
We can hand them out.
Okay, here, Marla's going to pass them out for you. So raise your hand if you'd like to have one of those cards. So about 80% of hearing aids have a telecoil in it, and you need to ask and find out if it can be programmed. It just has to become one of your programs. So if you don't have it, then you'll need to borrow a device, and at least you have that.
I have a question.
Who has a question? Oh, so many hands up right now. Okay. Hold on, let me bring the microphone.
I find that when I'm having a hard time hearing the television, and I've got it up all the way, if I put my finger over the wire for my hearing aid, I hear much, much better. So I'm wondering, maybe it's wiser for me to get in the ear hearing aids as opposed to having them over my ear.
We're going to get to TV streamers. Do you have Bluetooth in your hearing aids?
I probably do, but I don't have them on. I took a shower. I can't get up.
Okay, because we're going to get to that topic. I just want to close the door on that one. You have a question?
You were referring to the Laguna Playhouse. I usher there, and I have tried using their device, but in order to use it, I have to take my hearing aids out. Otherwise, they compete. Is that...
Okay. So there's a little technique you might want to use. Let me just... going back to the anatomy of a hearing aid, the microphones are on the top of your hearing aid. So you could wear this a little high. You could lift it a little bit high, and I've done this. And we have to unwrap it. This is a brand new headset here. Okay.
These are very good headsets. This is loud and clear.
So this is a little bit higher, but I have the pads right over the microphone. So that's a little adaptation. Everybody's different, and everybody has different equipment, but when you're in the Laguna Playhouse and you want to use the FM system, put it over the microphone. Just lift it up. And you can actually lower this. You can adapt it a little bit, so it doesn't look like it's sticking way up there. I have a little funny thing to tell you. And this was about 20 years ago, and I was in church, and I borrowed a listening device. I don't remember if I had hearing aids back then or not, but I was wearing it, and I got a tap on the shoulder, and the guy asked me what the score was. Oh, was I embarrassed. I can laugh about it now, but it wasn't funny then. Anyway. Remember, hearing loss is not a crime.
I can explain that now.
Okay, wait a minute. I want everybody to hear you.
With that explanation, I can explain that to the people at the playhouse so that they don't give poor advice.
So, okay. But we're going to go to the next screen. So, how do you listen in a hearing loop? So, if you have a telecoil, it's programmed and you're ready to use it, you come into the room. When the program starts, you get your little app out or you click your button and you go into your telecoil program. You don't need to do anything. And you get pure sound directly, and it actually goes through your hearing aid prescription, so you're hearing better than the average person. Okay, so this picture here is just happy people in the audience listening, and every one of them could have a telecoil and could be listening to the hearing loop, but who knows? You'll never know. It's very discreet. Okay, so how to use a listening system if you have no hearing aids or no telecoil. Request a receiver and a headphone, or bring your own earbuds. I would and they have to be the wired kind, not the wireless, not the Bluetooth kind, just the wireless, because this is a more personal experience. Your earbuds, so just stick them in there. But that's what you're going to need, whether it's a hearing loop, or even if it's an FM system, or if it's an infrared system. But there's still one more option. So if you have a telecoil, you can use an FM system. This is not a hearing loop. This is an FM system. If you, instead of getting a headset, you ask for a neck loop. So this goes around your neck, plugs into the box. You adjust the volume and turn on your T-coil. You turn on your T-coil program, and you'll be hearing your FM system right to your hearing aids. So your telecoil can be used with or without hearing aids, and you can use a neck loop if you've got the telecoil. Though there's there's very different combinations. And I'm not expecting you're going to remember all of this. So I've tried to provide as much information in handouts today. Anne, did you have a question or a comment?
If they want to get the loop that goes around the neck, they can get that from the state of California free of charge. There's a form that you fill out and have your audiologist or hearing aid dispenser sign it.
So, by law, because of the American Disabilities Act, where you're going should have a neck loop. But you're just learning about this, and there's a lot of people out there who don't know about this, including the staff at the Laguna Playhouse, including the employees at the Pasadena Playhouse, at the Sedgerstrom. So you can get a neck loop from California Connect. I can provide that information to you if you want that, to have your own neck loop, just like you would have your own earbuds. So there's a receiver with headphones. A few of you are already using that and experiencing that. And then you could also use a receiver with earbuds. That's the guy in the middle. And this guy here on the, he uses the receiver with a neck loop. So that just simulates, that creates an induction magnetic field that goes directly to your hearing aids. That's my preference all the time. It's a clear sound and it goes through my hearing aids directly. Okay. Okay, so Anne, I'm gonna have you come up here because Anne is going to talk about we're going to talk about Bluetooth now. So you need to know if you've got Bluetooth in your hearing aids. And I'm going to say this again towards the end. If you're buying hearing aids, absolutely insist on getting both Bluetooth and telecoil. And it's doable. There's plenty of hearing aids out there, and your hearing aid providers should be able to find the right make and model that has both Bluetooth and telecoil. So, how many of you have a smartphone? Okay. Now, of all the people who wear hearing aids and have a smartphone, how many have an app for their hearing aids? Okay. So for you, if you had a telecoil and if it was programmed, it would show up in there as one of the programs that you would flip to. That's for the telecoil. So this is a picture. Oticon is the one I'm most familiar with. And by the way, I'm so happy to be able to teach. My mother is 98 years old, and so at this moment we have caregivers for her. So I'm training all my caregivers. Whenever she says, ha, 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 we've got to make sure that the volume is set right. They whip out her phone, they open up the Oticon app, and they can see where the volume is and make the adjustments. She has, and we're going to talk about a TV streamer. She has a TV streamer. And she doesn't remember how to turn it on. But you turn it on in the app. So, and this is working with Bluetooth. So then the middle one here is Widex. So I have Widex. So I can go to my telecoil setting right here in my app. And over here, this is Signia. And they all have pretty much the same features. They just look a little bit different. All right. Do you want to? So Anne is going to talk a little bit about accessories that utilize Bluetooth. So Bluetooth only works for personal. It doesn't work in a large room. That's why you need assistive listening systems that will serve many people in a single room. But Bluetooth is an individual experience. So Widex and Oticon, and just about all of them have something called a TV streamer. Do you have one here? Okay. So, this is an Oticon box. It's exactly like what my mother has. So this is connected to the audio output on her TV. Plug it in. And when she sits down to watch TV, you just go to her, I go to her app and put on TV, and she hears everything directly. And her brother-in-law, who sits in the chair next to him, whew, such a relief, because without that, that volume is so high, it's so disturbing. I can't watch TV with her. So, because she can hear it directly, everybody lives. Okay, and this is the Widex streamer. So it's just another little device. It hooks to the audio output on your TV. And when you turn on your TV streamer in your app, and some people, Daniel's one of them, he doesn't use the app, he just fidgets with the button. There's a way to change programs on the button on his hearing aid. So if you don't have a smartphone, you can certainly use, you have to learn how to use what taps, how many taps get you what program. Okay.
Ask them how many people stream.
How many people are streaming from their hearing aids? Like, I love to listen to podcasts all day long. I like to watch YouTube on my smartphone, and it goes directly to my Bluetooth. When I answer the phone, wow, I hear the caller directly into my hearing aids with the Bluetooth. It's wonderful.
I have a question about that. When I got my last pair of hearing aids, she set it up so the phone would ring in my ear. But then I got to go hunting for the phone. I don't know where the hell the phone is. So I said, "Take that out of here. I don't want it." But,
That's why I wear my phone.
yeah, I should, But that was annoying to me,
Everybody's different.
Are they is that considered Bluetooth when it rings in your ear?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
No, that's not, I was.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? How many people answer their phone and you can leave it in your pocket, actually. You don't have to. My mother puts it up to her ear anyway, but at 98, that's her habit. So, but you don't even have to do that. So how many people are doing that? So Daniel is doing that. Jenny's doing that. Okay. It's great. I'll tell you, for a long time, I didn't have Bluetooth, and now I had to wear a neck loop, and I had to do all this other stuff. So now it's just so much easier. This is a test. When you're buying hearing aids, what are the two features you're going to absolutely insist on? Telecoil. You don't want a loop in your hearing aid. You just want that little bitty telecoil. Okay. Thank you.
So you commented about the phone call coming in but not finding your phone. At least you didn't miss the phone call. You knew to go look for your phone. So that's one of the benefits. Okay. There you go. Just an FYI for the latest hearing aids, if you have iPhone only, so Android doesn't apply, but if you have an iPhone on some of the latest hearing aids, when the phone rings, tap, tap, you answer the phone call, tap, tap, you can hang it up. So you don't have to go looking for your phone. If you answer the phone call from the hearing aid, then it picks up your voice from the microphone of the hearing aid, and then you can hang it up. If you answer it from your phone, then you have to talk into the bottom of your phone because it's using the microphone of the phone.
Otherwise, if you tap it, then you don't even have to pick up the phone.
Correct. The phone could be across the room. It could be in your purse. So we have several patients who have walkers, and as they're walking, if the phone rings, they could just tap it, and then they don't have to fiddle with that. Yes, sir.
Let me take the microphone. Mary?
Your hearing aid? As far as when you tap your hearing aid, is it one side or the other, or both?
It doesn't matter the side, it's the wiggling motion that is hanging up and answering the phone call. But only certain models have that feature. But it wouldn't matter if it was the left or the right.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have I have an Android phone, but I can still tap the button on my hearing aid to switch it to pick up the phone call, and I can do it when the phone is in the office and I'm in the living room, and I can still hear it. So it doesn't have to be an iPhone.
But you're tapping a button.
Yes.
This is only wiggling the hearing aid. You're just tapping your ear. So that's kind of the difference. The other thing, just to let you know, Widex is one of the only manufacturers that also has a TV streamer that looks like this. So this little piece goes around your neck. And these are for people who wear in-the-ear hearing aids, right? So they have as much capacity for streaming, but this could also be for somebody who doesn't know how to use an iPhone. All they have to do is to push the button and turn it on, and they can start streaming right into their ears. They can turn it up and they can turn it down. So the manufacturers are trying to take into account people who have some limited abilities and or just are not tech savvy and want something different. This is called a TV DEX, D-E-X. But you have to have a Widex hearing aid in order to use it.
Widex is a brand of hearing aid.
Widex is a brand, and they're the only ones in the industry that have this product. That TV DEX, I'm not supposed to talk price. About $200. But I'm not talking price.
So you have a Widex, the sound assist here?
So there is also something here called a sound assist. This every manufacturer has a version of this, and this little microphone connects to your hearing aids, and this is connected by Bluetooth. And if I were wearing it and this was connected to Toni's hearing aids, she would hear me talking right into her ear, because it's how close my mouth is to this is how loud she's going to hear it in her ears. So Widex has one.
What is that called?
This is called a sound assist. The advantage of this one is that if I were to wear it this way, the microphone would be forward facing, like for a one-on-one conversation. If I lay it on a table, all the microphones come on. It has a gyroscope in it, so it knows the position of where it's at as to how many microphones should be coming on. The Oticon Connect clip is like this. These are two of them. They're not one, but there's two on the string here. And this one is only forward. Some of you might use a Roger mic. That's a Phonak system. Signia has their system. Everybody's got a system to help with one-on-one conversation. That one is called a Sound Connect. And that, again, is Oticon. So it depends on the manufacturer of your hearing aid as to what system, but they all have one. Phonak has a very good one that sits on the table, as well as Resound.
So that's great for the holidays. Whoops.
She said, great for the holidays. One of the things that Toni will be happy about with this is that if you had a Widex rechargeable hearing aid, they make the smallest hearing aid in the industry, but they had taken out the T-coil when they made the hearing aid, which was kind of taboo because Widex has one of the best T-coils in the industry. However, if you have a Sound Connect, this has a T-coil in it, and it allows you to connect to your hearing aids. So this has a T-coil as well as being a regular mic. So they redeem themselves.
So this is the one situation where if the hearing aid doesn't have a telecoil, there may be a
Accessories.
clip-on something. And a couple of good uses for this. Have you ever, you're the driver, you have a hearing loss, and you lip read, But the person next to you may have Parkinson's, may have some kind of speech impediment, and you can't hear them. So this would be great for them to wear that, so you could just concentrate on the driving and you can hear everything they say. And
People in the back of the car.
and the back of the car, they could pass it around. Absolutely, yeah. So, and also this is great for table talk, especially if you're having a family dinner. Okay.
Another accessory, just so you know what's available in the industry, is this is an older piece of technology. It's called a Comdex, C-O-M-D-E-X. But this goes around your neck. And again, it's a Widex accessory. However, if a phone call comes in, you just push the button and you hear the phone call right into your ears. So you don't have to pull it out of your pocket or out of your purse. Why would somebody want this if they have a smartphone? I have several businessmen who use it when they go skiing. They put it on, they're skiing down the slope, they get a phone call, they pull to the side, they push the button, they take the phone call, and then they go skiing again. And so their friends are envious because they don't have to pull the phone out to answer it. They can hear it. So I told them that one of these times I need to go with them in order to film them doing it so that I could go skiing with them. But it's a nice feature. Again, it's before smartphones were available or people who have just a regular Bluetooth, a flip phone, they could use something like this.
Comdex.
This is called a Comdex.
I was curious listening to all this stuff, and I'm on my third hearing aid set, so I'm not ready to get a new one yet. But I was wondering, does Consumer Reports or are there other places that rate them when I'm ready to be shopping for a new one? Where is the best, most reliable, with the up-to-the-minute doodads that I could research?
So you have a lot of people in this room that have hearing aids that could give you a thumbs up or thumbs down on their experience. And just yesterday, something came across. I am a member of Consumer Reports, and they just came out with a whole new thing about hearing aids. So if you're not a subscriber to Consumer Reports, you might check in the library, and see that. But it's a brand, and I haven't had a chance to look at it. So, but every once in a while they come out with a study on different.
So I have a friend who gets Consumer Reports. So you're saying the latest one would be talking about hearing aids.
They send me
Toni, use the mic.
So they send me a note about it. Yeah, they sent me an email about it. So I just got it yesterday. So I don't know if it's in the stores yet, but
I'm
But it's
going to
current.
say from a different point of view, everybody's got a personal opinion. Which car is the best, right? So I would go and ask the professional that you are seeing, why do they use the products that they do, and kind of also go from there. Because as I've explained, Widex here, they have a lot of different accessories. However, they don't get as much publicity because
leaving?
they are a...
we need to get the device.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
leaving with her
thank you,
device.
thank you.
Because it's just a political type of environment sometimes. I'm just going to say it that way. So I would say go to your provider and ask them why they use the devices that they do. Use the Consumer Reports, but definitely don't make that the end-all, be-all. Yeah. So another accessory that they have, a lot of the different manufacturers will have a remote control. So remote control, again, people who don't use a smartphone are not left out in the cold. You can make changes through the remote control. What else you got, Toni?
Okay. Are we done with the show and tell?
We are. The only last thing is that, again, there's another accessory called a Sound Connect, and it's a little dongle that can go into your computer. And the advantage of that is if you do Zoom calls and you want to stream right into your ears, you can. So people who are business people who are on phone calls all day long, there's a dongle that can go into the computer, and then you get a nice clean, a dongle. It's a little...
Is that a technical thing?
It is. It's just a little piece, just kind of like what you use with your mouse, your Bluetooth mouse. It's a little piece that goes into the computer. At any of your hearing aid offices, but again, that one is Widex specific, so you have to have Widex hearing aids. And that's one of the reasons there's lots of manufacturers have different options. You just have to find out what's available for the ones that you use.
Okay, I got a couple of announcements and a wrap-up. So everybody got a flyer. This pertains only to Laguna Woods residents. They're offering free hearing aids. Yes, as the foundation of Laguna Woods announces free hearing aids. And I don't know a whole lot about it. You have to go to social services. You have to be qualified, so that means, you know, you can't be a billionaire. So I'm not exactly sure what the requirements are, but they will actually provide money towards a purchase, not to you, but to the wherever you get them. So you do want to check in that. If you need hearing aids, I would call up social services, make an appointment, and tell them you want to check in to the free hearing aid offer. That's a good deal. People ask me all the time, you know, where can I get hearing aids? This is a good place. Okay, the other thing is, you have a handout called Holiday Madness. So this is somebody who is a friend of mine back in New Jersey. She has 2 cochlear implants. She wrote this paper on communication tips. Thanksgiving is coming. Whether you're going to family or if you're going to a buffet here in Laguna Woods or going somewhere. So these are some communication tips. So take a look at that. And I want to tell you our next meeting is December the 8th. I've requested that we have some holiday desserts and coffee, just kind of spruce things up. So that's December the 8th at the same time. Meeting starts at 2. We're going to be talking about strategizing tips and surviving the holiday. So you're going to have Thanksgiving under your belt. And maybe you've tried some of these tips. Maybe they didn't work. Maybe we need to discuss some other things. So let's have a discussion about how Christmas, Hanukkah, and family situations are going to be better, because it's tough. Number 1, hearing loss is not a crime. Hearing loss is not a crime. And you wouldn't make fun of somebody who is in a wheelchair, and so because you have a hearing loss, nobody should be making fun of you. So come back and see us December the 8th. Oh, yes, the raffle. Come back December the 8th, and we'll be strategizing, and we're going to make Christmas holidays better. Okay. So, Ann, I'm going to let you.
There's somebody, I need a ticket.
So this is a book, it's called Here and Beyond. These are 2 of my favorite people in the hearing loss world. They both have hearing loss. Gail is from Canada, and I'm not exactly sure where.
Don't step forward, you're going to hook a wire.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Does everybody have a
So
ticket?
I'm going to let Ann.
No, go ahead.
She doesn't have one
Does
here.
everybody have a ticket?
Here.
Oh, we need tickets. Okay.
One goes in the pocket and one goes here.
Yeah, one goes in here. This is a wonderful book. Here and beyond. Live skillfully with hearing loss. All right. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you. I do have office hours. If you're a person who can't open those hearing aid packages and you need some help, I got some great scissors. So that's number one. Number two, if you want to talk to me personally about, your situation, the assistive device you want to use or something like that, I'd be more than happy to sit down and talk to you about that. Okay. Here we go. Oh, you pick. You pick. We only have one book, one prize. Okay. 712-338. 712-338. All right. Yay. I believe you. Oh, yes, from the PC workshop. Yes, I recruited him. I went to the PC workshop, and he was behind the desk. And I said, you have hearing aids. You should come to my meeting. And he invited his wife. So that's the best thing to do. You should always bring a spouse, because sometimes they don't understand. They don't get it. So they can learn right along with you and be more empathetic and learn how to communicate with you. So have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope to see you in December. Please return the device. Normally, if you go to the,